Felipe Toledo survives and moves into round 3 to now put Mick Fanning under pressure. Burrow looks back door, knifes the takeoff, stands tall and gets buffed out.
De Souza knows he dodged a bullet right there.
This is a solid effort from Adam Melling, nice and deep, and he flies out.
Slater pulls in, high, roomy, barrel, exit!
Good morning, it is day 5 of the event window for the Billabong Pipe Masters in loving memory of Andy Irons. We started this event with 6 world title contenders and there are still 5 remaining after 2 exciting rounds of competition, and we are anticipating a call to see if we'll get round 3 heats underway. But before we do, we have a great show for you. First up, we're going to be having a look at the amazing performance from Carissa Moore yesterday in the Women's Pipe Invitational. Secondly, we'll get an update on our title contenders and who they'll come up against in that 3rd round. And finally, a very special guest joining the show, 2001 Pipe Master Bruce Irons. Before we get into all that though, let's say good morning to former Championship Tour surfer Ross Williams. Morning, Ross.
Morning, Ronnie.
And the current Big Wave Tour Commissioner Peter Mell. How are you, Pete?
Good morning, guys, and good morning, everyone.
Great to have you on the show, boys. Yesterday afternoon, we got a special treat. The Women's Pipe Invitational getting underway once again. Our 3-time world champ, she went out there and she blew minds.
Well, I think that one of the best things about that is that she's got a little halo over her head, and every time that a world champion steps in the water, all of a sudden good things happen, and the waves turned amazing. They came right to her. We got to see Kala Kenley, who has been having a bit of a terror over the time period of the last year or two surfing big waves, and she proved that she can do it out here. But Carissa Moore just unstoppable finding the great waves.
Kiala had that amazing start. Ross got herself an 8-point ride, but Carissa just had incredible rhythm. She found some of the best waves we saw all day, even in their main event.
Yeah, so I mean, not only was she in rhythm, but technically I was really impressed, you guys. Like I think it was her very first wave. If you remember, it was kind of a fatty. It was a double up, and there was a great chance she could have poked, curled, maybe even pulled back. That wave was really, it was kind of sketchy, and she handled it with so much ease, and then got pitted. That was kind of the icing on the cake. But all 3 of her, she had 3 excellent scores, and all 3 of them were really technical late drops. That was impressive surfing. Great
to have Courtney Conlog and Tatiana Weston-Webb out there in the lineup too. I thought all those women look super comfortable, and I think we're going to look forward to watching that battle unfold again next year.
Agreed.
And we even heard Strider say, hey, was that the best barrel ever for a woman out at backdoor? And I said, well, shoot, it's not a foregone conclusion that it wasn't, but I do remember Rochelle Ballard pulling into some pretty heavy waves out here. Yeah. There's been a handful full of ladies that charge out here, but that's definitely in a conversation. It was that good.
Well, another fantastic women's surfer is Rosie Hodge, and she is down there on the beach waiting to get the call from the Commissioner, Kieran Perot.
Thanks so much, Ron. Well, yeah, like you mentioned, former pipe master Kieran Perot. The ocean looking a little bit sleepy today. It still looks beautiful out there. Will we get competition underway?
It is beautiful, actually. The conditions are great. Unfortunately, we've got no swell. That swell we've seen over the last few days has really trended down, and we'll continue to do so throughout the day. So we're off for the day, and we'll come back tomorrow morning and reassess. Still looking at a good-looking swell coming through, hopefully building through Tuesday.
And looking at that swell and that forecast that we have, obviously these round 3 matchups are so important. So what can we expect the next couple of days?
Yeah, this swell, there's supposed to be a small little pulse that comes in on the back of this dying swell. It's not really going to offer much. We'll keep an eye on it, but we really are tracking that one swell that looks like it's going to build on Tuesday, peak into Wednesday, possibly hold Thursday. And, that is a super important round coming up with some amazing matchups and world title on the line and so much hanging in the balance. So we want to get everyone in great waves, and that's what it looks like it's going to offer them.
Well, I can't wait to see those round 3 matchups unfold. Ronnie, Ross and Pete will take us through those all-important world title implication round 3 matchups. Stay close.
Welcome back to Dawn Patrol. Ronnie Blakey with Ross Williams and Peter Mell, and we're going to have a look at the contenders and who they're going to match up against in this third round. But before we do, we want to get a good insight on what the conditions are going to be like, because it's going to play a big part in people picking their favourites for those heats.
Yeah, let's take a look at the Surfline forecast here, and what we'll see is that we do see a little bit of swell for the weekend, which I don't think is even going to factor into a call here, and then we see the major swell fill in for Tuesday afternoon into Wednesday, and that's the call, is how big will that swell be. It's still developing, you know, so it's several days off. We'll actually see how much energy is going to be hitting here. We know the swell is going to be there, excuse me, but it's going to be anywhere from 6 to maybe 10 feet, depending on the energy that is there. This is today's surf. You know, it's going to hold head high, maybe a couple overhead sets, but nothing real factor. Dropping even into Monday, but Tuesday afternoon. So we'll look at Tuesday. It could get here early enough to see us run competition on Tuesday. Wednesday, pumping. We'll see competition on Wednesday. It depends on just how big that's going to be. You know, like I said, it could be 6 feet and go in both directions, or it could be 10 feet all pipeline.
And one thing I do like about that swell is I think compared to this last one, it's predicted to be maybe a slightly shorter interval. Which is going to be good for pipe and backdoor. Yeah. It could make it more peaky. We saw the problem with that north direction, really long walls. So 8 foot peaky pipe and backdoor.
See it.
It's going to be good. Well, the first heat we're going to talk about is heat 1 of round 3. Gabriel Medina up against Geordie Smith. Geordie surfed so well yesterday in the second round, laid down the turn of the contest so far, but Medina is definitely going to be the favourite going into that heat.
Yeah, so I think for me, you guys, I'm going to kind of base all my predictions off of 6 to 8 foot pipe. Then all likelihood, I don't think that we're going to be surfing kind of what we had yesterday with 4 foot waves. So I think I like Medina and his hunter-gatherer tactics, his theory on how he surfs heat. He's going to stay really busy. He's going to kind of hound Geordie Smith. He's not going to give him any breathing room. And then we all know how he's good on both lefts and rights. I think he'll get this one.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you. I think Gabriel Medina is the slight favorite here. I like how Geordie surfed that last round, but I don't know if we could see him just keeping that up. Gabriel's just too strong, again, going both directions.
I think the backdoor is going to be the key for Geordie. If there's a few backdoor nuggets, he can continue to get barreled, get those big turns done. He's going to have a good chance at upsetting last year's world champion. Now, the next heat, this is the toughest heat for all the title contenders for sure. This is the second toughest opponent Mick's had since the Shark at J-Bay. Jamie O'Brien is a former pipe master, and he just surfs this place so well. And if the surf is big, Mick's got his work cut out.
Well, what I like about Jamie, and I'm gonna take Jamie here on this pick, even though I know Mick is solid. He doesn't have any real holes in his game. No, we all know he's not as crazy as Jamie is at 10 foot pipe, but Mick is gonna throw up a couple of good numbers. But I like Jamie because competitively he's sharp. You know, you get some of the best surfers at pipe in the world, and they loosen up a little bit and keeping track of the heat, but Jamie's not that guy. I think he'll be really sharp with gauging if he needs a backup score, and that will make a difference.
Yeah, I almost going to take that same analogy, but put it with Mick. I think Mick's a better competitor. I think that he's going to be able to be sharp. He's going to be able to find a way to win this heat because it's a world title implicated heat. He's got to do it.
Well, that's right. Well, the thing that everyone has to keep in mind is Mick Fanning is now behind Felipe Toledo, so if Mick loses out here and Felipe even loses, and everyone else kind of falls short of their goal, then Felipe is going to be world champ. So this is Mick's, you know, high pressure heat for the 3-time world champ. It's going to be massive. Now, another tough draw though is Mason Ho and Felipe Toledo, and we were just touching on it during the break. Mason's got a really good chance, especially if that swirl comes through as predicted.
It really is. So, like for Jamie O'Brien, I like that he can be sharp competitively, but he is going to look for the heaviest wave out at pipe and backdoor, which will give him the edge over Mick. Same for Mason. But for Mason more so. I would say it's a little more of an even heat because Mason's not as sharp as Jamie competitively at pipe, but he's going to look for that heavy wave, and that is, in my opinion, is going to make the difference between him and Felipe. You know Mason's not going to squander that one opportunity. If he gets a big, thick 8-foot double up, he'll make the drop and get pitted and get a big score.
Now, Pete, Mason and Felipe surfed a heat against one another at Portugal in the third round, and Mason got waxed. But this is pipe. This is a place where he's already had a runner-up finish in a QS event this season.
Felipe surprised us already in this event. I think he'll surprise again.
Yeah, he did get the jump on Bruce Irons in round 2. It was a high-pressure heat. So let's continue to move on. Julian Wilson, pipe master last year. He's coming up against Adam Melling. And Melling, he's had some big numbers out here in recent times. He has a huge end goal to re-qualify for the CT. How do you like Adam Melling's chances?
I think Adam Melling's improved immensely in hollow waves. I have a lot of respect for Adam and what he's done. Kind of like Adriano De Souza. He's seen where he needs to improve. In my opinion, I think he's done that in hollow waves. That being said, Julian is too good on his backhand. So if we're going to get some 8-foot waves or bigger, Julian's so comfortable at pipeline. I think that's going to give him a big advantage over Adam.
Yeah, I would have to say Julian's got the edge in this one just because of that ability both. He's a pipe master. I think he's going to carry that confidence into this heat.
And the last title contender we're going to be talking about, Adriano De Souza. He's going to be matched up against Glenn Hall. Glenn Hall disposed of Nat Young, who'd been one of the best free surfers prior to the event kicking off. But Adriano De Souza has gone to another level out here at Pipe and Backdoor. He's been performing really well in the free surfs and especially in his heats.
Well, I was going to say all of his hard work is going to pay off in this one. I mean, he's been putting in so much time here, learning everything, every nook and cranny, like we talk about, needing to know like all of where those boils are, where he is on the reef for certain different waves, and all of that expertise and all that hard work is going to pay off in this one.
One thing I do like, I think for Glenn Hall, this is his last CT ever. I just think that magic might create the upset. It is a big heat for him, you know, and he's a heavy underdog, but I'm going with the Magic.
All right, Ross Williams going with Magic. Let's have a look at the world title scenarios now. There they are on screen, and you can see that Mick Fanning, even though he's still going to be holding onto that Jeep Leaders jersey, on the live ratings, Felipe's just a spot above at the moment.
I think one thing for Fanning, if he can get past Jamie O'Brien, he's going to be on cruise control. That is going to feel like the heat of this event for him.
I agree.
So it's big. It's either kind of that heat or nothing for Mick. He really needs to get past Jamie.
Yeah, no, and again, we talked about how he's seeing this draw. I was in the water with Jeremy Flores yesterday, and he took a look at it, and he's like, "Wow, I saw my heat." But what's really interesting is all of those draws for the world title contenders, and especially the Mick Fanning, Jamie O'Brien heat. I think all eyes are going to be on that, and I feel like that's going to lift both those guys' games. It's going to be one of the most interesting heats of the year.
Well, there's a good chance we'll see some upsets, but I've got my fingers crossed for all our contenders to continue through to that fourth round, and then we'll see them matching up against one another. It's going to be interesting to see how that all plays out. Well, stay with us, because after the break, a special guest joining us, Bruce Irons on Don Patrol. Welcome back, Ronnie with Ross, and now joined by the 2001 Pipe Master, Bruce Irons. Welcome to the show, Bruce.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, guys.
Mate, I want to just touch on it quickly. Social media lit up when you were accepted as a wildcard into this event. What was that positive response for you like to experience?
Yeah, it was a little overwhelming, but my friend Logan Dooley, he's the one that he's all, hey, I want to put this thing on the internet. And what do you think? I said, do whatever you want. I don't care. You know, let's do whatever you guys want. And yeah, it was a lot of response, and I appreciate everyone for you know, everything they said, and you know, everyone posting it.
What's it mean to you to compete in the Billabong Pipe Masters in memory of your big bro?
Yeah, it's a really big event for me, and you know, especially in memory of my brother. So, you know, I just wanted to be a part of it, and you know, I really wanted to do good in it, but it's the way it goes. But I was just stoked to be a part of it. You know, try my best.
I think we have a couple highlights, but you know, obviously it's kind of hard to click back in a competitive mode. You're not competing like you used to. Have you watched your heats back and kind of analyzed it at all, or what was your thought process on, you know, after the fact?
Yeah, no, I did. Well, this is probably the first time I watched it, but yeah, you know, not surfing heats, you know, especially man-on-man, you know, for a while. I was definitely rusty, you know. Yeah, you know, I wish I could do it over again, but it's all good.
Your first round performance was really strong. You're only less than a point behind Fanning in that first round, but the second round, obviously a lot more focus on that heat, being that Felipe's in title contention. Did you feel the spotlight on you? Because, I mean, on the desk, we were all thinking Felipe up against Bruce at Pipe, it's going to be tough for him.
Yeah, you know, I was definitely, I don't know, I wasn't thinking about the race or nothing like that. I definitely didn't think that Felipe was going to be, you know, easy. I just, you know, I think I was more nervous. You know, I don't know. I wish I would have caught more waves, but yeah, you know, I wasn't thinking about anything but just trying to get barreled.
Well, since your time off tour, because it's been a minute now, what's your thoughts on surfing, the tour, venues, popularity? Because you know, you were on tour for a chunk of time and now you're off, and you know, what's your whole thought on the World Surf League and the state of tour surfing now?
I think it's great. You know, the way that you guys do this TV show and the commentary, and it's really good for surfing. And I don't know, all the guys on tour, they all surf so good, and you know, it's exciting to watch. I love it.
Felipe Toledo, he now moves ahead of Mick Fanning on points by progressing through to that third round. So if they were both to be knocked out, all the title contenders were knocked out in the third round, Felipe would be world champ. You got to give Felipe a pretty special award the other night at Surfer Pole, the Andy Irons Breakthrough Performer Award. What are your thoughts on Felipe surfing?
Oh man, yeah, I've been watching him a bunch this year. I'm blown away on the stuff that guy can do. You know, there's the airs, and you know, how much his success rate of landing his tricks and doing it under pressure, and man, yeah, the kid's amazing. I'm baffled on some of the stuff he does.
He's also a pretty cool guy too when you chat to him.
Yeah, he's actually a really, you know, humble, polite guy, and yeah, you know, those guys are really cool.
What did you? I know you were disappointed with your performance in that second round, but what did you make of Felipe's effort out there?
His effort, you know, he did what he did what he was supposed to do. You know, he surfed a smart heat. I didn't expect anything less. You know, he surfed a great heat. You know, and he just got the better waves.
Well, he continues his run into the third round. Bruce, we're going to get you to stick around because we've got some more highlights from your amazing career to check out after this. Stay with us. Bruce Irons on Dawn Patrol. Welcome back. Ronnie Blakey with Ross Williams, and we're joined by special guest Bruce Irons. Bruce, we've been loving that Rising Sun spray that you put on your boards. Do you feel like Andy's with you when you're surfing those things?
Yeah, you know, yeah, definitely. You know, he's always with me. But yeah, that was his airbrush, and thank you. And yeah, it's an intense, powerful airbrush. You know, sometimes it's overwhelming for me even.
Mate, we know Andy and yourself, you had a chance to compete against one another on the championship tour, but you also got to compete against one another in one of surfing's ultimate contests, the Eddie Aikau Big Wave Invitational. We're going to take you back to 2004, the event you won. You had a 100-point ride in that contest. What was that like for you? Because you hadn't even surfed Ironman before that point.
I might have surfed it once or maybe twice, but I don't really consider it surfing out there, you know. It was so crowded. But yeah, that was, you know, it was a very special day for me. Yeah, it's probably one of the, you know, biggest achievements of my life. And yeah, you know, Ross, we were in the heat one room.
Did you have a wave? We had both heats.
Yeah, we were both heats together, yeah.
There's a wave coming up I think they put in, and I'm actually shoulder hopping on you and Kelly right there.
Oh, yeah.
Just dropping in.
That was the first heat.
That was the first
heat.
And then actually, maybe your biggest wave, it was the 100. I was right behind you, and I was looking down. You got right under the pole. I think you paddled like maybe 2 strokes. You were perfectly in it. Do you remember that wave?
Yeah, oh, definitely. It was a big reason was that surfboard, because, you know, I broke my board, the 9.6 I had in the morning, and Eddie brought that board down as a big canoe, and I think I could just stroke into anything. It just almost felt like I was cheating. But yeah, that was probably the biggest wave of my life, guaranteed, and the most memorable one.
That was a special moment for sure. Now, just reflecting on that big wave event and reflecting on what you saw at Piahi the other day, what was your thoughts on watching all that unfold and seeing a couple of the young Hawaiian guys get up into the number 1 and 2 spots?
Oh man, that stuff that they're doing at Jaws is on another level. I'm so glad to sit in the house and watch it on TV. And I mean, that looked, I'm sorry, it looked miserable. You know? And those guys are just sending it so hard. I'm glad no one really got really hurt, you know. Right. Mark hurt his shoulder, but Shano and Mark and even, what's his name's Barrels?
Kai Lenny, I think.
Yeah.
Albie.
No.
Billy.
Nope.
Greg Long.
Greg Long.
We got there. There were so many good barrels. But
yeah, all of them. You know, Billy, like, these guys are so nuts, and they had to surf a couple of heats. Like,
one of the mental things about this was Carlos Burley, the 48-year-old, throwing himself over the ledge. I saw him the other day, and he had the biggest bruise right along his hamstring, where his leg rope had actually stretched and torn his hamstring. So everyone getting pretty battered up.
All those guys, hats off to them. You know what I mean? Like, that's on another level. That's straight gladiator stuff.
You know what's cool though, Bruce, is like when you watch events like this, it gives so much inspiration. This is scary inspiration, because I don't know if 13-year-olds are going to watch Piahi and go, oh, okay, is this what I'm supposed to do?
That. Yeah, no, that takes us a rare breed, I think.
But that does kind of translate into this question where I think, you know, your videos inspired a couple of generations with, was it Magnaplasm and the Bruce movie? What do you think, who's that guy now, or those videos now? It's changed a bit, like with, you know, everything's kind of quick and fast, but where's that inspiration now, you think, for the kids?
Like the movies and stuff? I don't know, man. All the stuff I see on the internet, you know, John guys and, you know, even Jack Robinson, like the stuff that these guys are doing nowadays, and even you know, you watch the free surfs, everyone, you know, maybe there's a little too much 360 airs going on, but you know, the rail surfing, that never gets old to me, and you know, I like to see the kids mixing it up, you know, not just necessarily doing one spin or something, but you know, it's all good.
Bruce, it's been amazing having you on the show. We're really excited about your new partnership with Ruka, and we know that you're working on a movie project with your manager Logan in the new year, so best of luck with that. Thanks for Snap 3. Check it out. Thanks for joining us for Dawn Patrol. Make sure you tune in bright and early tomorrow morning, 7:30 a.m. We'll get the call if we're going to get round 3 action underway. See you there.